LeBron James just went to the Philadelphia Sixers, and I am so happy he decided to go to the Sixers and not the Cavs, or just anywhere but the Cavs. But I want to discuss today two key factors that I feel like people aren't really talking about, other than the health of Joel Embiid, obviously, and the health of the team. I feel like these two guys, these two players, are going to be big in the championship contention of the 76ers. Now, the two guys I'm talking about is VJ Edgecombe and Jaylen Brown. What makes the 76ers so great, or what could make them so great, is VJ Edgecombe and Jaylen Brown buying in defensively. Now, I want to discuss Jaylen Brown's defensive rhetoric, defensive impact first. Jaylen Brown, obviously, he has not been the defender he was back in 2024 over the last 2 years. But if he can get back to that, if he can buy back in to that defensive mindset, realize that last time I was a great defender, I won the championship. And I was the finals MVP. Last time I took all the assignments, finals MVP, won a championship. So Jaylen Brown can lock in to that role on defense. Like, man, that's gonna, the things that will do for us, it would take the pressure off Braun. It would take the pressure off Embiid. Obviously, Maxey. It will take the defensive pressure off, especially VJ, because Jaylen Brown is taking the best matchups. Jaylen Brown's taking the best matchups. We've seen him in the finals go lock up Luka. We seen him defend multiple great offensive players. Putting VJ on this possibly the second best perimeter guy will make him look even better on defense, will make this defense even better. So Jaylen Brown locking in defensively, being the defender he was in 2024, that's gonna do major things for this team in championship contention. Now on to VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe at his floor, at his absolute worst, I think he can be a neutral defender. At his floor, his athletic ability just takes the cap off the ceiling of the defender he could be. Because I seen VJ Edgecombe show flashes of being a great defender. Now I know he can get it on offense. He knows he can get it on offense. But if he buys in to being a defensive playmaker, he's already a good defensive playmaker. Had about 2 steals this year. He's already a good defensive playmaker. Now, if he can buy in even more to tapping in to that defender, he can possibly be a top 20, top 15, top 10 perimeter defender in the league, because his athletic upside, like I said, takes the cap off that ceiling. He's also a great rebounder. And with his athletic ability, I feel like he can also become a better shot blocker too. So defensively, we can possibly have 2 top 25, 2 top 15 perimeter defenders. And that takes so much pressure off of Joel Embiid, because we know he isn't the paint defender that he once was. And also takes a bunch of the wing defender assignments off of Braun. And obviously it helps Maxey, because, Maxey put him on a weak guy. And even Maxey himself as a defender. I mean, like, on ball, okay, he's 6'1". He's not a defender, but his steals are going to be impactful because of our transition offense. We have Braun and Tyrese Maxey. We have 1 and 2 in fast break points. I'm pretty sure Braun was second in transition points. Jalen Johnson was first last year. But, like, the transition offense with Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecombe, and Maxey, like, that's just, the offense literally is going to be great. At its absolute floor, it's a top 12 offense in the league. And here's another little nugget for the importance of VJ Edgecombe and Jaylen Brown's being an elite defender. Because LeBron James, his best lineups last year on the Lakers was a lineup with him, Luka, Reeves, Marcus Smart, and Ian. That was a lineup with 2 amazing ball handlers, an elite defender, and a great center, obviously. And Marcus Smart being an elite defender. So imagine that now, Braun with 2 to 3 good / elite ball handlers, and then 2 elite defenders and a great center. That will make that would make LeBron on this team so much better, and the team overall so much better. And another thing about LeBron's lineups last year, obviously his best lineups was, like I said, Luka, Reeve. But another nugget about his lineups is those lineups where it was LeBron and then it was 4 other like hustle guys like Laravia, Smart, Vando even. I'm blanking, but those were the best lineups. Just like those dirty work guys, the most athleticism we had getting up and down the floor. Those was his best lineups. And now when you see we have now on the defensive end, because those lineups were also some of our best defensive lineups. So now when you factor that in, you factor in Jaylen Brown and VJ Edgecombe being elite, possibly being elite point of attack defenders. I mean, it just opens up everything. It even opens up the offense because, like I said, the transition offense will be deadly. Another thing I want to get into is the bench, the depth, the different lineups that we can put out there. Like LeBron offensively, dude, we can run 5 out, like with Braun at center, line up with Maxey. Oh my God, we get a line up with Maxey, Edgecombe or Brown, Braun. That's 3 guys. Get Dean Wade in there, and then what? KCP. That lineup is deadly. We're all running. We're all shooting. Like, we can run you off the court. You better not have 2 bigs out there. You get bigs out there, you're gonna get ran off the court. Like, and with teams who don't have those bigs and is going up, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing about what I like about this team so much is we can play a bunch of different styles. We can play big relatively. We just got to get another backup center. We can play relatively big, or we can just play very, very fast. We can play very, very fast. And that's the different thing about this team. And another thing I like is that in order to beat the Knicks, the Thunder, the Spurs, you have to have multiple guys that can handle the basketball. You have to have multiple guys that can handle basketball. You have to have guards that can rebound. Also have to have the center that can rebound, obviously. Paint protection is obviously important. Embiid isn't that, but you also got to have perimeter defense. You also have to be able to run, not be able to let these teams set up their half-court defense. So we have all of that. So we can put up a fight with these teams now. We can definitely put up a fight with all these teams. But